Hey all, Taves here, back playing some more Planet Zoo. So welcome back to part 2 of Seal Beach. My kind of ongoing grey seal habitat. It's been going on for a little while. This is a video edited from stuff that I've done on Twitch, twitch.tv/TavesPlays, and also a bunch of stuff that I kind of recorded behind the scenes. So there's been a few streams. I'm trying to make this fairly regular. Absolutely loving this. As I said, this is part 2, so I'll have a little link up in the top right corner up there for part 1. If you missed that, go back and have a look. It's a one-off habitat, as the title says, but as I said, it may well end up being a zoo. I'm feeling more and more like it's going to end up being a zoo. Although that is kind of it does become a little bit tricky, moving things that are as detailed as this build into kind of blueprints that you can use is kind of tricky, but we shall see. I would quite like to get back to actually doing a whole zoo, so we may well end up doing that. So if you saw the first part, we put in the whole arena section, we put in the 2 tanks, we've got this kind of multi-layered area, we've got this big backstage area that I hadn't worked on at all and now starting to work on. So what you see me doing really a lot in this one is laying the foundations of that kind of backstage area. I really kind of like the idea of, I know Frontier sort of is quite resistant, or the game doesn't like us to keep us to be able to be seen by guests, but I actually quite like that, and I think that's a sort of a thing that, I don't know, the view into the backstage, the little peek into the backstage, the little window on the world thing, I think is a thing that's kind of missing from the game, because from what I know and what I've seen in some of the research I've done, it's actually quite an encouraged thing. I think I don't really know why it would be something that you would discourage in the game. So what we just did, and you'll see this in the tour section at the end, you'll see all of this more in the tour section. I really like spending time detailing the backstages, and actually kind of actively in this one I'm encouraging the guests to be able to see the keepers. So I have created this little bridge. We just sort of saw it being created there. You can see it in the corner there, and I like the idea that just kind of in the background of the arena you can see the keepers coming across this little bridge section. Just I don't know, just kind of an interesting thing. I mean, the keepers have to be inside the habitats, right? So in the game you have to have them inside the habitat. They have to be kind of actively in there regularly, so why not kind of make the most of that? So that's what I'm kind of doing in this. So lots going on in this. We're jumping around in various different things. As I said, this is the speed pool section. There will be the tour. The tour always has more things to see. We are creating here, I decided I've got this gate. You'll have seen me do that in the last episode. Create this little gate that's kind of an entrance way from the backstage into the front stage areas. So this is a little control panel for the person that's doing the show to be able to open and close that gate. That's the idea of it. There'll be other places that they can open and close the gate, but yeah, so this is just a little, I'm playing around with this. I don't do this an enormous amount. I'm not particularly skilled in doing these kind of little prop things. The art shape senseis of the world are kind of beyond me, but I don't do too bad. I don't think this comes out too badly in this. A lot of the time you just have to kind of I think a lot of the time you just got to kind of do enough to make it look like it's a thing. So like you can see some buttons. That little switch I'm actually quite proud of. I think that works quite well. And then yeah, and so I think some of this stuff will be on the workshop. I haven't decided everything that's going to be on the workshop. If you see something in the video that you'd like me to put on the workshop that I haven't already, then do drop it in the comments section. Making this little talk point here. So this is actually the upper viewing area. So we didn't have this in the last episode, and I think I built this mostly off stream, but it's another little talk point. So you can have multiple talk points for the same habitat. So I thought we'd have this kind of raised area. Quite pleased with the way it came out actually, but you'll see this again. You'll see this and all the rest of the details more in the tour. So just using some of I think I used a combination of Rice's fonts and Citronverse fonts here. Citronverse font is obviously the smaller one. I always feel like these things just kind of definitely add a detail. I know Frontier have done some changes to the fonts, but they're still kind of massive. I'd love to be able to have some decals, like some decals that we could use that were completely backlit, just kind of 1 pixel deep sort of thing, like the decals we've got, but actually fonts and small enough to put signs and things, because that's super useful. So here we got you can kind of see the little raised area now, giving it some shade. So just kind of do this, what would you call this? I guess like a gazebo kind of thing over the top of it. It actually ends up being quite a nice little place to hang out. And what's really cool is that, I think I said this in the last episode, but the guests use this quite a lot because it gives a different view into the habitat. Obviously down at the water level, down at the glass there, you're only seeing really kind of a pretty narrow little window into the habitat. So from up here you get the view back onto the kind of little sun deck area and the little kind of basking pool and stuff. Made this little pathway. I didn't really want guests to be seen kind of coming up and down here, so I did a load of rock work, but we're creating this little kind of trellised fence, which actually ends up coming out quite nicely. I think sometimes you've got to be a little bit careful when you use a trellis, because it could end up like that with some different colours, could quite easily end up looking kind of Asian. But I think the way I've done it actually looks just kind of nice. I think it looks more sort of tropical. Pretty happy with that. So we just line this path, copy it down a little bit. Again, I've not done loads of little bits of this that I've kind of not finished. Back into the backstage area. So you'll see this, creating this kind of little silo. As I said, I really, really enjoy it. I think I enjoyed just as much the backstage areas. What's really cool, and I talked about this on stream, but one of the things I absolutely love about the backstage areas is that once inside a habitat, a keeper will navigate anywhere. So you don't have to have the limitations of the path, which is just so cool. Like that is makes such a difference to not have to worry about where the paths are. You obviously still got to worry about the traversable area and things, but the keepers are so much more kind of forgiving in their traversable area. Right, this is where the madness begins, and it may well end up being that this is something that has to change when I get to put this in. If I do end up putting this into zoo, and even potentially before that, this may well end up having to change. This is all supposed to be a tiled backstage / private education area for the seals. So it's a tiled pool. And you may well have seen it, you probably didn't see it very quickly, but these are all using the decal letters. I actually first saw Mrs. T-Rex doing this on our community zoo project. So we've got a community zoo project running. She's creating a big otter habitat, and she was doing this. I think she was doing this with one of the 3D letters, but actually I think it works better with the 2D ones because you can really get away with kind of sinking it down. Obviously, there are lots of tiles here. And yeah, performance-wise, this may well become a problem. So we may have to simplify it. So the idea of this area is that it's supposed to be an area that's not sort of directly, immediately viewable by guests, but may well be an area that I was sort of thinking it's like a school, school kids could get brought into this to sort of meet the seals, or it's more like a VIP area. It does end up feeling quite sort of dated. I don't know. It ends up with a little bit of a sort of 70s vibe, which I actually didn't kind of mind. So yeah, loads of details in this, lots of drains. There was lots of work to make sure that the seals could actually get in here and use it. It was just a kind of fun way of having their pen and their kind of their sheltered area a bit more interesting, other than just a sort of concrete bunker sort of thing. So I have to say I worked on this quite a bit, and there were quite a few different iterations. This was worked on stream and then off stream. So yeah, quite a lot involved in this, but I'm pretty happy with the way it came out at the end of this video. At the end of this video, it isn't finished, but you'll see kind of progress. I think probably we'll finish it in the next episode. I'm trying to get these videos out regularly, so hopefully we'll have one. If not next week, it will be the week after. Don't forget to subscribe if you are wanting to keep an eye out on the new stuff that I'm doing. And as I said, there'll be a zoo, and I think probably will be a zoo that incorporates this and a bunch of other things. But who knows? I have got a bunch of new ideas at the moment, which is always kind of cool. As I've talked about a couple of times, I'm kind of back in the groove of the game. It's taken me a little bit of time. I think kind of the creative juices are back, which is awesome, which is super exciting. So yeah, loads of this stuff, loads of this kind of little details and little ramp here. We're going to end up with kind of different rooms in here. I'll have to remember to link this ladder in the workshop, but so a little ladder that kind of goes down into the pool. So it's supposed to really be that this is an area that is regularly used by the keepers, but as I said, less regularly used by as a sort of education area. And so you see a lot of it's custom built. A lot of it isn't particularly efficient. I'm still really working on trying to get more efficient at creating buildings and architecture. I think my end results are often not too bad, but my approach to getting to them is not particularly efficient. My groups get a bit messy, all that sort of thing. Those are the things that I would really like to get better in the game. I lost a bunch of this footage, so actually what you're seeing here and the tour will be very slightly different. I unfortunately managed to save over some progress that I made in this little section here. So putting some windows in, I think most of it I managed to kind of redo, and actually I think I'd do back a little bit better than I did it the last time. So some of this will be slightly different, as I say, but the gist of it is the same. So putting in these, obviously in something that's a backstage area, there's always going to need to be some ventilation things. I think we'll probably will end up with like an aircon unit and stuff in here, but I thought nice to have some windows as well. So just putting in these kind of little latch windows. And then what's next? We've still got loads and loads of this habitat to do. I think probably at least one more episode, maybe even two. Who knows? But I'm pretty happy with the way it's coming out. Putting this little windowsill in. I'm absolutely loving the amount of detail that you get to put in this sort of thing. It makes such a difference to kind of, I don't know, it just makes such a difference to my level of fun that I have in the game. If I could just kind of go nuts on the detail. That's what worries me slightly with doing it as a big zoo. But we shall see if my computer stands up to it. Right, we are almost very nearly at the end of the speed build section. As I said, there'll be, as ever, there's a tour at the end coming up very shortly. So I shall join you again for that any minute. Okay, so welcome back to the tour. So we're just kind of at the edge of the new area now. So we'll just go up this. We'll go up this little left path first, as you saw in the speed build section. Oh, hello, peeps running past. As I said, this is kind of not finished yet. This left hand side of me is all obviously needs work. You changed your minds, decided that is not where you wanted to go. So coming along here, we'll do a little fly around at the end in night mode as well, just so we can see. Oh, look! It's almost like she's waiting to greet us at the end of the path. How nice! So this is the new talk point. So we get this nice kind of view. I thought you would be just about ready to speak to us, but it doesn't seem like we're a bit early. But yeah, we get this nice little kind of shaded area now. And there's our... Oh, here we go. Here's the top. She's going to be a bit too noisy, isn't she? Yeah, so we get this nice now raised view over the back of the habitat. So yeah, you get to see them kind of higher up. As I said, if you're down there, you don't get as good a view. But we'll do a little tour around. Still bits and pieces to do in the background. Some of this view is still not finished. But yeah, I think this is quite a nice spot because you get to see them right back there in the on the deck area and things, and just floating around in the water. That's always a kind of a bit more interesting spot. So we'll go down. We'll head our way down there. It's not an enormous amount to see up on this little path. As you see, they do quite a nice little spot for them just to go gather around. Did she change her mind? Where did she go? It seemed like she was going to do it, and then she... I don't know where she went. Anyway, let's go down. So I pulled a few trees and stuff in. I had some trees kind of floating around up the top. Obviously, this is all kind of messiness. We did this. I think I did this off stream, but this kind of added some more details to this path here. So some of the little kind of signs and stuff of TV. This is supposed to look like ripples on the sand. I originally did it in yellow, but it all actually felt a bit too much. It actually kind of works better as the blue. So it's made out of the pipe pieces, but yeah, it's all kind of supposed to be like a ripple effect. Well, that's quite nice timing. So the amazing delay designer put out a video actually a couple of days ago, just before I'm recording this, which shows you a trick for getting the water clear, which is basically used by kind of cutting terrain away and having it not really be that it's up against the glass like this. It works really well. I haven't tried it yet. I don't think I'm going to redo this, but if you haven't already seen that, go check that out. I actually quite like this. I don't mind it being a bit murky here. I did sort of say in the last episode that it was a bit annoying that it was murky, but it actually isn't that bad a view. When you're in Tejicam, it just looks a bit more... It looks a bit more blurry when you're not. Oh, she is doing her thing. Alright, let's move on. She's going to disturb us. So a couple of extra details. I don't think I had this, but I added some more details to these sides and things. That one was there before. I can't remember if I had this. I think I'd done this. Yeah, I had done this little pond. I think this still needs a sign if I remember rightly. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this as like a little frog habitat or I don't know, some little kind of implied habitat or something. Everyone in Planet Zoo loves an implied habitat. Let's go this way quickly. We'll go this way. I don't think I did a load of new stuff here, but we'll just have a quick look. I'm not really sure why I bounce along that path, but I always seem to. Oh, she's doing her one as well. She's got no peeps, but she's doing her one. I only let kind of a very small number of people into the zoo. We'll go through this door. I think I changed some of this. Yeah, I simplified this door a little bit. So I'll go through this door. So here is our little kind of control thing. I put a gate here now. That's supposed to be like a little thing for holding back the gate. And then we'll go back that way in a second. But so here's the little control box. When we fly around, I'll show you what this is actually about. This is to control the gate in the seal habitat, as I said, to let them in and out of the backstage area. Okay, so inside the actual habitat now. As I said, I'm really loving doing all the backstage areas. It kind of takes. I really enjoy I don't know if I just enjoy making things that kind of mundane. I guess that's maybe what it is. I don't know, but yeah. So we've got this little kind of retaining wall thing, little kind of steps with a barrier. I've just noticed some Z fighting in that, but never mind. We'll fix that. Little bits of kind of weeds and things coming through it just for some detail. How you going, champ? Are you coming with us? So we come up here. We've got this little kind of canopy thing, a bit of clutter. All you needed, I think, like adding just some bits and pieces and some clutter and stuff into these makes a real difference. Let's just watch this guy go over the bridge. So it needs a bit of work at the moment. It's still a bit janky, but we'll have that fixed for the next episode. And obviously there should be a wall here or barrier here and not kind of open to all the public. Little silo thing. So I think this is probably going to be a gate. I think there's going to be a larger gate here. Obviously implied, but for like a vehicle or something to come in and unload things. And I think there will be another one further on into the habitat. So yeah, at the moment there's kind of this little step that I've got to fix. But there is our. Let's see if we can actually get over this Integer cam. Yeah, I was a bit worried we wouldn't actually be able to. If we take a run, right? Let's grab you from there. Can we grab you before you get on the bridge? There we can. Cool. Okay, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So I kind of really liked. Let's just get you unselected. Kind of really liked the idea of people being in the arena, but being able to see kind of activity, but behind. It's kind of inside the habitat, but almost behind the scenes. It's almost obviously behind the scenes, which I really don't like. Having the keepers visible in the main kind of areas of the habitat, but kind of behind the scenes, like a little peek back to them. I kind of like, and obviously in something like this, where you're in an arena, this is very much obviously kind of not supposed to look like a natural habitat because we've got the buildings and stuff there, and obviously we've got kind of a show going on, all that sort of thing. So let's carry on this way. So this has all got loads and loads of work to do on still. So there's the ramp. As I said, they go. So the seals. I don't know if any of them will do it at the moment, but the seals go along this little channel underneath the bridge and into that main area. So this is the thing that the control panel operates. Oh, we've got one being boxed there. This is the one that the control panel. In theory operates. I do need to do some sort of implied machinery and stuff here for that, but yeah, coming through here, so as I said, this has got a long way to go, but this is the gist of it so far. There's our tiles. It's actually not performing too badly, I have to say. It's really surprising. I mean, you do get some, obviously that doesn't look great from a bit of a distance, get some weird kind of effects from it. But surprisingly, the fonts actually do perform pretty well. It's a really simple object. Oh, we've fallen through the floor. We're in the water. We may not be able to traverse this. Let's see. We made it round. Yeah, it's a really simple kind of object. So, yeah, that's just an L. So I guess that probably helps in terms of the performance of the game stuff. Where the hell did you just appear from? So lots of stuff to do. There will need to be more rooms coming off this. This is going to be a like a birthing room, like a little isolation room. There's going to be some quarantine areas and stuff like that. And then obviously we still have this kind of big open area that brings you around to the back of the habitat, which all needs loads more work to do. So we'll do a quick look in the night because I think that always looks kind of nice. I'm quite pleased with the lighting and stuff here. Have a little fly around. As I said, I think I said this in the last one, but I've spent a lot of time trying to make sure that I don't know why you're stuck. There's nothing to be stuck on. There's a path right there. Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to make sure the lighting looks good. You guys might just have to leave the zoo if you. There we. No, you're on a path. You're fine. It's all going to be fine. Don't panic. Just go over there. At least go out of our earshot on our eyeshot so we can't see you. But yeah, I think it's coming together. Definitely coming together. It's starting to look pretty. I can still hear those guys. They've still got issues. Oh well, never mind. They're destined to live a life of unhappiness. So yeah, I think that's going to be it, guys. As I said, I'm trying to get these out fairly regularly. Hopefully there'll be one next week, if not the week after. And yeah, do let me know what you think about this one. If anyone's got any suggestions for how I incorporate this into a zoo or what sort of name or something might work. Tempted to do kind of a little mini zoo to go with this. At the moment it feels like I don't know, it just feels kind of cool. Alright, thank you very much for watching. My name is Dave. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is free for you to do, but very much helps me out. Helps more people to see the videos. I've still got quite a low percentage of people that watch the videos that subscribe, which is totally fine, but yeah, do consider it if it's something that you wouldn't mind doing. Helps you get the notifications, and yeah, as I said, just helps me out. Anyway, catch you on the next one. Take it easy.